expand upon this a bit. When you say it's hard to have heels and baby faces in today's wrestling, kind of talk a little bit more about that. Why do you feel that way?
Well, not everyone is going to be able to, and I'm going to use him because he's a very popular guy right now. Not everybody's going to be able to be an MJF right off the bat. Definitely coming into a company on the independents, a lot of the times you just get the match. You don't get a chance to do a promo.
Right.
You don't get a chance to use those words to manipulate the crowd. So you have to do it from bell to bell because that's what you're giving. You're either giving your 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And so now we need the individuals to learn that you can also be a good heel from bell to bell by just doing things from wrestling's past, making it new again, adding to that. But a lot of people believe like an eye poke or cutting someone off and talking crap to the fans is enough being a heel. But you have to do more now. The way information travels, the way people digest information, you just have to be more wittier. You have to be more creative now. And I feel like if you're not getting that opportunity to cut a promo, it's very difficult to get over. So now we have to use the elements that are presented to us, which is the referee, the rules of wrestling. If there are no rules of wrestling, then the heel has nothing to really use to get over.
Right.
You know, that's why I think a lot of the heels now are doing cool moves because they have no way to get over because there are no rules to break. So I want to help promote real heels coming back to the sport. I want to promote the heels playing their role because if you play your role, you're doing the job. You're doing the most important job, which is helping that face overcome something. You're being that obstacle for the face to overcome.
It's a very astute observation because a lot of guys don't pay attention to the rules. I mean, obviously, that was one of the biggest things in AEW when we first started was some guys just had no rules whatsoever. And, you know, I'm a big proponent, obviously, coming from 30 years of experience. You have to use your referee to your advantage as a babyface or as a heel. So it's good to kind of hear it from your standpoint, from being a guy who's been in the business for, I'm not sure how long you've been in the business, but I'm assuming you're probably in your 30s, maybe?
Yeah, 33.
10 years, 15 years on the job?
16, yeah.
Yeah, so that's good, man, because we have to, everything goes in waves. First, it was all rules, like when I started. Then ECW was no rules. And then WCW, some rules. And then WWE with Vince's kind of mindset was rules. So it's good to kind of see things coming around from your end too, because you have to have them. Because if not, it does turn into one big giant high spot, which can be entertaining, but that only lasts for so long as well.
I agree. With you saying that, the analogy I like to use is fireworks. 4th of July come around, I can only pop so many before I give the rest of them off to somebody else to have fun with. So it's also good to just have the variety show. I always heard it coming up, but it never really resonated with me until I got a little bit older. That you need the comedy bit, you need the technicians, you need the high flyers, but everything can't be the same genre all the way through the show.
You're right. And that's another thing too you'll figure out as being a promoter for Terminus is you want to have the variety on your show. Like I always still say to this day, like a guy like, for example, I know it was 10 years or so ago, but Santino Marella is worth his weight in gold because to have a guy with that type of comedy and comedic timing, it's good to have that. You don't want a whole roster full,
right? But
to have one of those guys throughout the show just blows things up to a different level.
Yeah, I definitely agree. He's a really legit guy too, isn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, he could really work too. But I'm thinking, you know, it's the character development, which is the most important thing that connects with the crowd, right?
Yeah.
You know, I think it's one of the reasons why Danhausen does so good, for example, because he's completely different from everything else that's going on. And you want that. You want to have those types of guys on your show.
I agree.
So for you, is Terminus something that is just a one and done and see how it goes? Or do you want to kind of make it more of a regular thing? Or just what's kind of your dreams and hopes for it?
My dreams and hopes for it is essentially promoting the idea of doing what you love about pro wrestling. I mentioned it earlier, but I really feel definitely when I go around the indies in different countries and stuff, I see like heavier set guys chasing after this high impact, high spot style where they're diving. And it's like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm supposed to be doing that, but I don't want to do that because I know I only have so many bumps on my car. We hear that, but it's actually real. And it's just like, I want to protect my body because in my mind, I want to wrestle for as long as I possibly can. I feel like these guys are doing that because they understand that if they do these moves, the crowd reacts immediately. So if the crowd reacts immediately, the promoter hears it in the back whether he's watching it or he's just listening to the match. He's like, oh, this guy must be over. So if you're over, that means you get brought back. If you're over, that means you get bigger angles. If you're over, you get paid more money. And I think everybody wants that instant gratification. Very few guys are wanting to produce wrestling, you know, and do wrestling the way that they want. I think Danhausen is a guy that is doing wrestling the way he wants. Before, he was just chasing the booking. Now he's just enjoying wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think more guys, if they do that, I think the indies would be hotter than ever because you won't have a carbon copy of the same guys. To me, there's so many guys, and I'm not talking ill of anyone, but I feel like there's so many guys trying to be Kenny Omega, so many guys trying to be the Young Bucks. And I understand those guys are amazing, but like if you're going to try to get an AEW, because it happened at Ring of Honor where guys come in literally being Jay Lethal. And it was like, well, we already have Jay Lethal.
Right.
You can't be doing Jay Lethal stuff. So you're not impressing anyone by doing it. You're just kind of taking up people's time now. So I don't know. I just want to encourage people to like do wrestling the way that they see it in their minds. Because just because I don't like it doesn't mean Chris Jericho won't like it or somebody else might like it.
No, and it's been that way. I remember when I was first starting, and I was one of them, everyone wanted to be Shawn Michaels. Let's all try and be like Shawn Michaels. So let's all do Owen Hart moves or whatever it may be. So like you said, the most important thing is to do something different and do it your own way. And that's kind of how you can really stand out and get to the next level in the business for sure.
Yeah.